welcome to A Rare Reality, a podcast powered by Jordan's Guardian Angels. I'm Christina Janes, Director of Content, and also host of this podcast. And I got to tell you guys, I'm so excited for today. We have Taryn Laganegro on from Extra Lucky Moms. Taryn, thank you for being here. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks so much for having me.
And Michelle Fruhschien is here. We know her. We love her. She's one of our favorite JGA moms. Michelle, you do it all. And we have some big things to talk about today. So thank you both, because this is going to be so fun to have a chat about, supporting each other and really being there for each other in this space. So it is support month here at JGA. So we're talking about all the ways that we support each other and can support each other. Extra Lucky Mom seems to be the perfect place to be. So for those that don't know, Taryn, bring us up to speed. What do you guys do? And how did you come to be? And tell us a little bit about Extra Lucky Moms.
So first of all, my co-founder, Jess Corello, sends her love. She is actually moving this week. So when we were trying to schedule this, I was like, do not even try. Like, don't even bother trying to record a podcast. Just pack your stuff in your boxes.
Yes.
So Jess and I started Extra Lucky Moms in May of 2021. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary.
Yay!
And we had both been moms to children with Down syndrome for not much more than a year when we decided to start ELM. And it was kind of born out of both of us had found this amazing community in the Down syndrome community, which was wonderful. The Down syndrome community is like loud and proud and all the things that we should be.
Yeah.
And it's huge, right? So, but we each had friends who had either unknown diagnoses for their children or smaller diagnoses. And we just felt like, all right, but why? We wanted to do something to advocate in a bigger way. And we just felt like, why are we kind of isolating ourselves, and why would we only serve the Down syndrome community when there's so much more that we can do to support each other? And we found that, like, as we were talking to some of our mom friends in other communities, that like we all share so much of the same things, the same worries, the same worries about the future, the same juggle that we all go through. And I might not understand, like, for example, with Michelle, I might not understand every single thing that she goes through with Haley, but we can relate in such a important way and be able to support each other. So that's where it started, and we started as like a blog and an Instagram account, and have kind of followed the community. We started doing like some pop-up events and partnering with nonprofits. We started doing some corporate speaking events where we were educating, like doing lunch and learns. And we still do that, lunch and learns at companies, to just show how to support a parent and help make them successful in the workplace, because the burnout in corporate America with a child with a disability is so high. Mm-hmm. And then we published this book about a month ago, which I know we'll dive into, so I won't spoil it all yet, but
yes.
So we continue to just follow what the community needs and come out with new programs and content and all sorts of things.
I mean, I think that's the best part, is that it's like sort of ever evolving. I mean, you guys don't stop, and you're always trying to find something. We relate to that on that level, where you're just always trying to find something new and figure out another way. It's kind of like whack-a-mole, because it's like, how do you serve your community the right way? And I can only imagine it's twice as much for you guys with, you're serving so many people. Michelle, I know this has been a huge outlet for you in a lot of ways. Like, you've been able to give a lot of content and a lot of, thoughts, and what a great way to share.
Totally. I remember when Haley was diagnosed at 8 months, like, it was a formality, because as a mom, I knew from the minute she was born, she had a different path. And, I found Jordan's Guardian Angels, and I was beyond so happy. But it just also felt really disconnected, because it was global and there was no one really there, like right in my neighborhood. And Taryn literally lives 2 towns from me, which is crazy, because we also hadn't met until I don't know, like 2 months ago.
Like a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's like embarrassing that that happened. But at the same time,
COVID.
like, it's like totally the like disability motherhood thing,
Exactly.
Right?
finding the time to see someone who lives 15 minutes from you. It's insane.
Always.
But the connection, I felt like as soon as I saw Taryn, I was like, I kept it cool, but I was like, oh my gosh, like this has been my person. Like Extra Lucky
I
Moms
know.
have been, you've been there really. Like I remember when I took Haley to her first, like it was in the hospital, she was put under. And that was the day that you guys said, oh, do you want to do like an Instagram takeover? And I was like, sure. And I had no idea what I was doing with Haley, no idea what I was doing with Instagram, but like I did it and you guys supported me. And I just remember it was just, I felt like I had a community when I felt really alone because only I could take Haley because it was only one parent during COVID. But I had this whole community like following our day and like everyone's like, you got this, like you're fine. So like this community has just been so amazing.
Yeah, it creates this beautiful support system. I mean, I think it was such a breath of fresh air because, you know, I work with Jordan's Guardian Angels, but my son also he was born with bilateral sensory neural hearing loss. And we have, you know, an unknown cause. We've done all the genetic testing. We don't know why it happened. And doctors kind of say, I don't know, who knows? We hope that it's not progressive, but we don't know how that's going to last for his life. He's only 6, you know, he wears hearing aids in both ears. But I felt like reading through the blogs on Extra Lucky Moms was so affirming in so many ways because it actually kind of hit right to the heart of what I think so many of us feel. And it's that feeling of like, what is going to happen? And are we doing enough? And like, I quit speaking of corporate jobs, I quit my corporate job. I was a news anchor for 20 years and I was like, I'm never home. I'm not able to be with my kids and Jake needs my attention. And so here we go, we're going to do this, you know, but it's a tough transition and it's hard to make that change. And I was lucky enough to find a home with JGA and I love working with these families. The Extra Lucky Moms has been so helpful in, you know, reading and connecting and feeling like you're a part of this larger community. And we may not all have the same thing that we deal with, but we're there and everybody seems to get it, you know, in one way or the other. It's that, everyone understands.
I understand that feeling, or yes, I understand that celebration or that win. Like I get how big that is, you know?
I mean, it's a tremendous feeling. And so when I heard that you guys were coming out with a book, I was like, oh, thank you. You know, so tell me, how did this come to be? Because I mean, that takes on a life of itself.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny because we started out, I think in August of last year and we're like, we're going to have it out by Christmas. And, you know, that never happened.
Then life happens.
So we, you know, thankfully our wonderful authors, Michelle included, were like patient with us along the way because it did take a long time and it was a labor of love. But we just felt called to do it. We felt like, what do we create that can be literally handed to somebody? Because sometimes it takes you a little while to get on the internet, to get on social media and find your community. So we thought, like, what is that tangible, like physical thing that can be handed to a mom, like as she's getting her diagnosis? Because that's really our dream with the book, is that it gets in the hand of somebody right at the moment that they need it. You know, we think it's also a really feel good book where you could be anywhere on your journey and or not even be directly connected to the disability community and find really a lot of beautiful stories in it. But you know, our dream would be that it's in every hospital or geneticist office and all, you know, those type of places where you get your packet of all the things that you now have to figure out. And then at the top of it is this book that,
as it should be,
you know, that,
you know, I mean, so many families get to that point where they just say, here you go, here's your diagnosis. Now, good luck, you know, and here's a book with some built-in love and support. And I think that's it's so important.
And the only thing we asked people to do was be real. That was the guidance, was just be real, but let her know she'll be okay. Like,
yeah,
you know, because I think that sometimes like you get sometimes too overly positive information, and that's not necessarily what you're ready for. Maybe you do need to hear from somebody that it's been hard, and you know, and let your feelings be validated in that way, because we all go through that wave of emotions.
Yeah, definitely. Michelle, I think that no one was more excited than our JGA community when we heard that you were contributing. You have your own personal cheering section.
I was so honored, obviously, to be a part of it. And, you know, and not only that, but just to read through them. And I'd be lying if I said, like, I read it like every night, because, you know, you go through those stages of grief all the time. It's not like, okay, like it's over, like I accepted it, you know, it goes, you know, back and forth. And I sometimes read those letters. I'm like, wow, like you really captured exactly how I felt the moment, like Haley was born, or the moment I got the diagnosis. And it's okay that I felt that, because I feel like some moms might not know that's okay that you felt that way in that moment. Like that is validated. That is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean you're a bad mom, you know?
No.
Yeah, it was that when we were, you know, starting to put it out there, because we kind of did an open call for letters for the most part. We wanted the book to come together sort of organically, but Michelle was one of those people that we reached out to, and we're like, you're going to apply, right? Like you're going to apply.
Here's this. Do you think you could fill this out? Thank you.
Do you think you could fill out this Google form, please? and start writing.
And by that, I mean, do it now and then go. Yeah.
I mean, we've had such a soft spot, not just for Michelle, but like the JGA community, because I think you guys were one of the first ones that we partnered with as we started, when we had like 50 Instagram followers, and you guys, you know, made us feel important too. So we definitely wanted to make sure that you guys were represented in the book, for sure.
We love it. And from the bracelets to the book to everything in between, that's been able to, you know, unite JGA with Extra Lucky Moms. It's been a really special journey. And I think we're really grateful that we've been able to be a part of it too, because I think that it gives a whole nother, it's just another element in this journey that we're all taking together. And, you know, being able to bring these communities together is what this is all about. The rare disease space, the more that, like, the deeper we dive, the more we find, you know, in both rare disease and otherwise, that these communities of special needs moms are incredible. I mean, it's really special. So
I know. And that's why we feel like extra lucky, you know? Because we're like, my gosh, like think of all the people that we wouldn't get to know if it wasn't for being on this journey, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. What's next?
Oh gosh. What is next?
No pressure.
We, you know, I know we do have dreams of like continuing this series, like Dear, you know, I'm not going to overextend, but like Dear different communities. We'd love to get dads to write. We really would love to get dads to write, but I think that might take a little convincing. But if you're a dad and you want to write, reach out to us. And we want to continue to expand some of the, different media things that we've been doing, just to help get the word out about all of the amazing people in our community. We have dreams of a Dear Mama podcast, so hopefully that'll be coming in the fall.
Yes.
So yeah, and then continuing this corporate education program, that's a big initiative of ours, because we've gotten to speak to a few different companies at the moment, and the feedback is always incredible, because I think it's just, we hope to just educate, managers and all that on how to just promote a more inclusive workspace. But I think at the same time, people learn a lot about different disabilities and just inclusive language and all the things that, that we hope to share with people. So those are like our 2023 goals.
No, I think it's such a beautiful thing. And I mean, you guys are just spreading the word in the most incredible ways. And we're so grateful. I know as Michelle nods, it's, just so grateful for all of this. And yeah, I mean, truly thank you for the work that's being done. And Michelle,
Thank you.
anything that you want to add, because I'm sure that there's something, right?
Yeah, thank you to your community to opening it and extending it to the Jordan's community and literally every community out there. I think, I've talked to so many people and they just are so grateful for the space and the community that you have established. So thank you for the inclusivity of
Yeah.
everybody.
I mean, I love that this podcast is just a love fest right now, back and forth.
Because I think so. I mean, it's
Can
so
we do this
true.
weekly? This would
Yeah,
be
I mean,
great.
right? It's like, yes, please.
He's like, keep it going.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I think that it's such a it's so important to validate the work that's happening too, though, because I
Yeah.
think sometimes we get lost in the day to day, and it's, you've
Mhm.
got paperwork and Excel sheets and
Yeah.
Google forms and the day to day things that need to get done in order to keep things moving along. But like the reality is that you are impacting people daily, and you just maybe don't see it. And
Yeah.
and we hear from our families that it's making a difference for them, and they are like, what is this, and how do I can I tell you how many times at our JGA family conference that I had someone say, where do I get my bracelet? So
Oh,
I mean,
yay.
it's
Well,
just
they're there.
it's
I think they're
so,
temporarily our bracelet vendors on maternity, so they're going to be back on the site soon. So
yes. So
we
I mean,
will.
I think it's so um it's just special, and I think it's really
Yeah.
important that we are that the work is seen, and that it continues, because there's so many people every day. There's somebody new who's joining our community and other communities around the world, and it's
And what's beautiful is like how much all of this impacts like the next generation. Like I even see it with my kids, like that, them being exposed to the disability community. They're, more likely to think about something in a different way. And that's like part of why talking about all of this is so important, because I think that it's like setting that foundation for, not for people to not be making fun of something or just staring or things like that. I don't know.
no.
I'm excited for the future. I really honestly am, for
And
all
I
of our
think
kids.
it's so bright. It's so bright. We had this whole conversation just, I mean, about 3 podcasts ago. We had our siblings come on. We had 4
Oh.
siblings who came. They all have siblings with Jordan syndrome,
Mhm.
and they came on, and they, the moms had the conversation first, saying, I want to be really careful how we handle it. We want to make sure we're good. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Everybody was kind of like packing everyone in bubble tape, right?
Mhm.
And making
Mhm.
sure that we were safe. These ladies came on, and it was such a breath of fresh air that it had at one point had me just teary, because
Yeah.
the way that they perceive their siblings is so different than what
Yeah.
moms worry about. It's just pure.
Yeah.
That's my sibling.
Mhm.
Yes, of
Exactly.
course, I'll always take care of them. My friends love them. There's no, I mean, they just see them in a bright and shiny way that is so beautiful. And
Mhm.
it was it changed the way that I think so many of us were thinking. And
100%. And that,
yeah.
like, it's funny because on World Down Syndrome Day in March, like we were on the Today Show
Yeah.
Plaza, like the Down syndrome community, which was amazing. But the day before, I got to go into all the kids, all my daughter's classrooms, and I brought Rhea in with me.
Yeah.
We read a book about Down syndrome. We talked about it. I answered all these beautiful, like, totally innocent questions and all of that. And I was like, gosh, like that is just as exciting as like being with Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show. And I mean that genuinely, because you're able to, share this message with kids who, like you just said, they're pure. They don't start out with bias. Kids
Nope.
aren't born with a bias, right? So the more that they can just see that our kids are, you know, the unique parts of them are fun and not scary and
Yep.
interesting and all of those things, like the better everything will be going forward.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I heard they're amazing. They're
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
that's my best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was, I don't know. I think it's, uh, it made me hopeful for all that's to come, because I thought,
Yes.
okay, we're doing the right thing in exposing everyone to all of this on a regular.
Exactly.
So that's part of why this communication is just so important.
And I
why
think
I'm
just
grateful.
normalizing for people like that they can
Yes.
ask questions. They can, there's not, I always say, like, I'm never going to attack somebody for saying something the wrong way the first time that they do it or whatever, because I didn't know 3 years ago. I had no idea. I had no idea the right thing to say, the right way to say it. It just, being in this community, like, changed a lot of how I look at things and how I talk about things. And so, yeah, I think we're always continually learning and growing.
Yeah. And I think, Michelle, you've touched on that too, because when you dipped your toe into the social media pool, it was interesting on some levels, and there weren't always the best people that popped up, but man, did you learn in a hurry and realize that
really quickly. Yeah.
get those out of here and realize the good that comes from it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's amazing just to see how like the groundwork is being done now, so that in the future, that like right now we're advocating and we're establishing that like it's okay to talk about these things, but eventually like it's not going to be something where we have to say like it's okay to talk about it. It's just going to be part of our everyday. And I think that like right now the work that's being done is going to be for our kids. Like this isn't going to be a thing for them. Like right now it's a thing, but I'm seeing a change in, like you said, in siblings and kids and even adults. I've talked about like the R word so many times and how like offensive it is. Like, yes, back in the day that was the word, but now it's not. I've heard like sorry, and like whether or not they're using it in other contexts or whatever, at least they're acknowledging, and there's that to me is learning and beauty and growth, that like we're putting it out there, like that's not okay anymore. So I just think that these communities are so helpful to the general public to understand like we're moving forward and we're changing and evolving, and come with us, because if not, you're going to be behind. Like this is where we're going. So
get on the bus. Let's go.
Get on the bus or you're staying behind.
There's only one way to go, and that's forward. So let's do it.
Yes.
Well, I love it. If there is ever anything that we can do to help in spreading the word or contributing in some capacity, please don't hesitate to ask. And thank you, Michelle, for contributing. Thank you to you, Taryn, and to Jess for creating this world for all of us, because we are so extra lucky. And I hope that we can all remember that, even when there are moments where you feel like,
of course. And we're allowed those moments. We can still feel lucky and have those moments. It's all okay.
They both happen, but we just appreciate you so much. And we are so thrilled to see all the success that's happening. So let us,
and we're always here. So let us know whatever you guys need to.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Karen, thanks. And Michelle, thank you. We'll see you soon. We'll be, of course, tapping you for more of these podcasts too, because we love having you on. So thank you. And to all of you who are listening, please take a minute, listen to our other podcasts. They're available everywhere that you listen to your podcasts, also on our website, jordansguardianangels.org, and over on YouTube for translation services for our global community. So thank you all, and we will see you soon. Thank you.